Bruce Springsteen's one of the best, live performers I've ever seen. I mean, I remember about 5 years ago, my friend Michael Gudinski brought Bruce out to Australia, and he asked me if I wanted to get up and do the supports, I'd never seen Bruce live, and it's one of those things where everybody kept telling me, "Oh, you've got to see Bruce." And I'm going, "Yeah, I know. He does 3 hours. Yeah. I know he's great, and he's got an energy and all that." But I'd never seen him live. Every time he was here, I'd be overseas. Every time I'd be in New York, he'd be somewhere else. So I'd never got the opportunity. Suddenly, I was there, side of stage, and I was watching Bruce, and it was actually more than anybody had ever told me. They didn't warn me how good he really was, because he was incredible. And then at the end of the show, Bruce says, "Oh, do you want to get up and sing?" So I thought, "Oh, this will be good." And he said, I said, "Sure." He said, "Do you know any of my songs?" I said, "I know lots of your songs." He said, "What do you want to sing?" And I said, "Tougher Than the Rest." And I could see he thought it was an unusual choice. And he said, "Do you know it?" I said, "Yeah, I do." Yeah. What Bruce didn't know was during my wildest days, when I thought I was, falling apart, and I would sing Tougher Than the Rest to myself, just to try to fool myself into thinking I could stand up and take anything when I couldn't. When I thought I'd lost Jane, when I thought I was so undeserving of her, and I thought, if anybody else came near, I'm going to have to show her how good I am and be tough and all that sort of stuff. So I used to sing this song to Jane, at parties, and just drive her nuts. To get up and then sing it on stage with Bruce, it was beautiful. And I actually knew it that well. I ghosted him really well. And I think at some point he must have thought, "Is this guy a stalker?" But the reason it made it onto this record, it was quite complicated, because there's another fella that I'd wanted to work with for a while, Jason Bonham, who's John Bonham's son. And Jason and I have got mutual friends all over the place, including Kevin Shirley. And we talked about getting in and doing projects together for years, and it's just never happened. We've never crossed paths. While I was getting ready to make this record, Jason was in Australia doing a Led Zeppelin show for his dad, a tribute to his father, which I thought was beautiful. And he rang Kevin and said, "Well, it was Jimmy around. Can we do something?" So we had to think of something. He had a day off. I had a day off. And we happened to be in Brisbane on the same day. So we booked a studio. Kevin Shirley flew up from Sydney, the producer. And we said, "What are we going to do?" And I had my live band with me and Jason. And we said, "Let's do Tougher Than the Rest," because it's a song that, I'm sure, Jason's dad was tougher than anybody. Jason's dad was tougher than anybody. And Jason's loss was a huge, tough thing for him to get over. And Jason's a tough guy. And he's got his dad's genes. You can feel it in the backbeat. But every time he plays, I can feel that longing for his father. And when I sat and watched him play in the studio playing this song, not only was it just the solidest simple backbeat you could ask for, but it tugged at my heartstrings. And so it was just really great to record this song with Jason for this record. It means that it was sort of this round up this whole sort of pile of things for me, and I hope to get to work with Jason again.